Alright, so who here is in the zombie movies and zombie shows? Me personally, my favorite TV show of all time is The Walking Dead. Now, a lot of people are turned off by the zombies. They don't really like the whole monster thing, but I always tell them the show is not about the zombies. It's about the characters and how they progress through that world. And honestly, the zombies are not the biggest threat, especially as you go throughout the seasons. You guys know what I'm talking about who've seen it, but let me know. Dawn of the Dead? I don't know, that's pretty old. You guys let me know, what is your favorite like zombie monster type movie or show? Or if you're into horror, like vampires, I guess, too? Let me know. Obviously, today we will be reviewing Doug Crankel, the first zombie Disney car. Now, he is just an actor, so it's not like the full-on apocalypse has started yet in the Disney Cars world, but I wouldn't put it past them, you know, after what we saw in the Cars on the Road series with dinosaurs and ghosts and neon trucks floating throughout the sky. Who knows what could happen next? But yeah, this is a very highly anticipated release, just popped out of 2023 Singles Case D, and I unboxed that literally like a day and a half ago. I'll leave the link for it in the description below, and card suggestion pop up in the top right hand corner. Lots of good stuff in that case. Doug, however, is the only new car, new character. There is a new title and variant and a lot of great re-releases, but he is the only new character. And he's a pretty great one. There's a lot to talk about with him, so we're just going to dive right on in. He's kind of like a deluxe, if I'm being quite frank. This is a very large blister. You can tell that it has this like entire bubble up here just for the brain, which, you know, some people speculated they would make that, you know, attachable, so it would be off to the side, and then you'd open them both up and then attach the brains. No, they went full on. Everything's attached. The brains, from what I heard, are not removable. So it'll be interesting to see how this guy, you know, really compares to Lightning McQueen and Mater out of the package to truly see how big he is. But if the deluxe line was not canceled this year, I would not be surprised in the slightest if they were like, hey, yeah, he's totally big enough. Hey, we did Tractor. Tractor was a deluxe at one point. Now he's back to being a single and all that. But Tractor was a deluxe for a couple years. Alexis Wilson. He has no business being a deluxe either, but he was. Terry Gong, yeah, that's a lot of plastic, but deluxe because of the Gong accessory. So it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility for Mattel, but it gives us hope that they could still kind of release some of these more oversized characters in the singles line. Problem is, though, you can't really fit more than one of these in a case. You have to really design it well and pair it with slimmer blisters, because, I mean, this thing is chunky. This is like 2.5 Jackson Storms or That's Jammins, and so that's probably why they included 2 Jackson Storms in the case, so that they could fit everything in. I don't think we'll ever see 2 of Doug Crankel or any of these larger cars in a case together, but so happy that we got one, and hopefully it hits stores soon. I got it from CarLotSales on eBay. I'll leave that link in the description below, but it has not hit any retail stores anywhere in the world. He is the sole possessor of, and sole distributor, I guess, of Doug Crankel. There will be a color changer of him, by the way, soon. Obviously, it says new for 2023. We'll get into the color mismatch soon. Obviously, you can tell that he's supposed to be green, but he's gray for whatever reason. We'll talk about that in a bit. On the back here, you can see some of his Cars on the Road companions, none of which are from his episode. Doug is actually the first B movie episode character Mattel has done in any line at all. Of course, we know they're doing Deputy McQueen, so there's that, but they really hit the circus episode heavy with, you know, Greebles, K-Pillar Derev, the Salt Flats one heavy. They did Griswold from The Legend, and he's the only one they've done so far from that episode, but yeah, the movie episode definitely is getting shafted. I mean, you look to Getting Hitched, though. You got Cruise. You look to Road Rumblers. Oh, yeah, you got Road Rumblers, Color Changer McQueen. You get the Mini Racer Mater. McDonald's toys even. So Doug Crankel is truly alone right now, but hopefully we get more of the actors and other characters from that episode. But I'll be right back with Dougster all opened up. Doug looks incredible out of the package, but before we throw it away, I do want to stress how big that blister is. I'm going to compare it here to a Lightning McQueen, which is a pretty slim character. And like I said, I mean, that's 2 to 3 times the height of a normal blister. And that is just going to make it much more difficult to fit them in cases. Here's Gearston Marshall, who's a little bit bigger than McQueen. Like, he's probably one of the bigger ones you'll get. And like, you could literally fit Gearston Marshall's blister into Doug Crankel's. You know, obviously he's a little bit differently shaped, but that's just wild to me. Let's see if we can fit McQueen's in there. Yeah, you pretty much can. That is crazy. I am very happy. I applaud Mattel for going the extra effort to releasing Doug here. Now, obviously, they are, you know, it's in their best interest to do that, but they really still didn't have to. There are enough single-size characters from Cars on the Road that they could have, you know, done. They didn't need Doug Crankel in their main line. They didn't need him to have enough characters. So I'm very grateful. I just wish they got the color right. And again, we'll get into that. I'm saving my rant. I'm trying to contain myself. There is Doug in the episode. He drives by when they show the opening title there of the episode. And then he appears when everybody's having lunch off in the background. Don't get him confused with the one that we saw acting with the van zombie. That's a slightly different model that's more akin to Michael Sparkburr here than Doug Crankel, who we will compare to a couple models that are very similar to his momentarily. So right off the bat, you can see his expression is zombie-like. Of course, sticking the teeth out, that is a key zombie feature because that is what they use to chomp on into their victims. God, I'm having some Walking Dead flashbacks right now. Unfortunately, that show ended just recently, several months ago. Again, great show. Had its ups and downs. Rick Grimes leaving the show. Everybody knows that he left. Him leaving the show was very disappointing, and some of the characters who died really made the show what it was. So, I don't know. The peak was definitely like seasons 4 through 6. But that doesn't mean that I didn't like the other ones. Anyway, a little side tangent. Yeah, this guy looks really good. I like the detailing around the headlights there and the grill. Everything looks super nice. The grill is actually like textured. You could feel each little grain. You could feel the spokes or the bars of the grill. Looks like he's a little dirty here on his hood. I got this new lamp. I could see everything now. Pretty standard tires, standard wheels. R47A date stamp, so he was made during the 47th week of 2022 at the A factory. He does have this little bumper plate right here, so this bumper piece is plastic and is separate from the main metal body. And obviously the eyes are as well. Yeah. Oh, wait, maybe not. Usually Tylen's eyes, as we know, are a separate piece, but I'm not seeing the seam here. Unless they did it super well, I don't think so. I mean, I don't see a seam there on the bottom where this would be a separate piece. Like clearly with Lightning McQueen, you could see that crack right there and tell that this is a plastic piece. Yeah, this is a metal piece for sure. His eyes are metal. And they look pretty good. It's a nice expression for sure. It looks very zombie-esque in the sense that he's just looking straight ahead, mindlessly, just chasing after a victim. So Doug is a good actor. I assume Doug Crankel is the name of this car and not the name of the character he's playing, like of the zombie, the person that had become infected. So it gets kind of funny. I was always wondering, like, would they name him, you know, just a regular name, or would they try and give him like a fun actor name, like Zombie Car or, you know, Biter? I don't know, Biter, Jesus. Yeah, let's take a look at the brains now, what everybody is here for. Really cool. Again, it's a plastic piece, not removable. I'm getting into blue collection right now, but yeah, it's super nicely detailed. You could see the muscles of it all. Wow, it's a little creepy to look at, but you could see the veins surging through, all painted on, very nicely done. And obviously what makes this car so special, because otherwise he's just a gray coupe. Wow. So weird. The fact that we have zombie cars. Now, I know it's an actor, so it really isn't that much of a stretch, but still that they'd show us zombie cars in the Cars universe from what it started with way back in the day. Now, he doesn't have a license plate, and that makes sense. He's acting. He doesn't want his license plate to be shown. They don't want that in the movie, so that makes sense. I like the taillights, silver outline around the back window there. He's looking really good. Obviously, though, I'm going to take like 20 seconds here to go absolutely bonkers. Mattel. Your goal is to release characters and variants or whatever from the movies and the episodes, and you want them to look as close to what they looked like in the media as possible so people recognize them and want to buy them. I see a character in a Marvel movie and I'm like, wow, he looks awesome. I want a figure of that because it means something to me. It looks cool. I want it in my collection. So you go out to the store and let's say I'm looking for a Captain America figure, and he's green and red. I'm like, well, it's Captain America. Shouldn't he be like red, white, and blue? Like, oh, I don't really want that. It's not accurate. It feels wrong. It feels like they made a mistake. It feels like I'm getting cheaped out, and I don't buy it. Now, that's a little bit more of a stretch, a little bit worse than what we have here, in which Doug is the complete wrong color. He is undoubtedly supposed to be green. That is the iconic zombie color, whether it be Minecraft, whether it be all media ever. And his eyes, you could tell that the back of his eyes are also they're like almost bloodshot. They're like very much so like zombified, infected. They're yellowed. Again, a key trait of zombies. Again, they could have done this car way better. I gave him a nice, review on the teeth and all that, but it could have looked so cool if he had his mouth open and the teeth were all spread out like that. But let's just focus on the color here. It's not even close, guys. I don't know what else you want me to say. It's horrible. It's laughable. It's a complete blunder on Mattel's part. You just can't go about releasing characters in the complete wrong color like that. That'll eventually catch up to you. I know I am buying it still, but that's just what I do, right? There will be people out there who choose not to buy Doug Crankel because of the fact that he's the wrong color. So that's all I have to say about it. I think it's horrible. Mattel botched it. They muffed it. They fumbled the bag hard. Let's move on. Now, I want to compare him to Sergeant Highgear because both of them have these plastic headpieces here. Very different, but still worth a comparison. Sergeant Highgear's was attachable when you got him in the packaging, whereas I think he was, right? Or no, honestly, I can't remember. I'm trying to picture his packaging. I'm leaning toward the fact that it was detached, right? And you had to put his headpiece in. Either way, obviously way bigger and definitely worth being a deluxe compared to Doug. This guy's like almost, another third his height. It's already like a Land Rover type vehicle and not just a coupe. But yeah, it's kind of cool. Both of them have like these similar plastic headdresses, even though they couldn't be more disparate in terms of character. Really cool. Now, the two cars that he shares the model of are Todd Crash and Emily Engine, who we'll get to in a moment. Todd Crash was only released in 2019 from Thailand, and it looks like, they've definitely changed a few things from Thailand. The headlights look to be a little bit more fleshed out. Now, obviously, Todd's in a matte finish because he's supposed to be a rusty car. I do think his eyes look a little bit better. They're bigger. I don't know. Those eyes certainly aren't an eyepiece. It's all part of the main body. You could tell that they have similar wheels, just colored differently, less dirty. Doug has more of a silver outline around the windows compared to the weathered gray outline. You have the black door handle versus the silver. Now, Todd didn't have a license plate either. He absolutely should have had a license plate, so I guess they just got lucky with Doug here that they didn't need one. But yeah, taillights are those slim red taillights. You got the trunk there. Looks like they did not paint the emblem there on the trunk for Doug, but they did on Todd. There's also like some sort of circular keyhole maybe there at the bottom. Both have the bumpers, the plastic bumpers on both ends. And side view mirrors look to be similar. So yeah, that's Todd Crash, which was a very underrated release. And now Emily Engine was canceled in 2019. Unfortunately, she appears at the Cotter Pin Bar and Grill, so I would not be surprised if they uncancel her, anytime soon because of the fact that she's definitely more recent. And I mean, if they're uncanceling Bertha Butterswagen, who appeared in Cars 1 16, 17 years ago, they could easily uncancel Emily Engine from a scene that they've almost released everybody from. And hopefully we will get her in the future, but for now, this will have to suffice. Now, even though she was canceled in 2019, you could see that this prototype was made in China. It has an engineering stamp of 129. Quite a few of them made it out, leaked out from the Chinese factories on eBay. So if you have her, this is quite a rare find. I mean, I know, like I said, there are some out there, but it's a very underrated canceled car, just like Todd Crash. And again, I'm a big fan of her. I hope that they end up releasing her along with the other couple collar pin cars that they haven't yet done. But anyways, much better comparison here because they are similar colors and she's a little bit glossier than Todd was. But again, you can see that the grille is not fully developed, and same thing with the headlights. There are actually a lot of prototypes of Emily where she didn't have a grille or headlights at all. In fact, I have one without headlights, and then I have one without both. So it's kind of cool that I got lucky in the three that I have. They're all different. But again, you can see that the tires and the wheels are the same, just painted differently. Emily really rolled into the bar dirty and beat up. Emily, go get some work done, gal. On the back here, you can see the taillights again, but they're darker. Again, they didn't paint the hood emblem on Doug, which they had done previously, so that's a little disappointing. It's one little detail gone by the wayside. But yeah, it's a nice little coupe, retro style car. And everything about him is great, just the color. And so honestly, it wouldn't be that hard of a custom to do. You would just have to take him apart, paint him green, and there you go. I definitely see now that Doug's getting released, people doing customs of the other zombie cars, because you could just take the brains off of Doug, paint this guy green, and bam, you have another one. You don't even have to paint Van green. You already have him green, and you have another zombie. So really cool stuff. And yeah, that is pretty much all. There are a couple sedans here that are similar, but they're not coupes. So Chuck Manifold, yeah, I just wanted to show you guys for comparison. Japeth, another rusty one. Some people call him Japeth. Michael Sparkburr, another rusty one. Look at that big boy dent right there. Bam, he must have gotten whacked. And then just kind of comparing him to Lightning McQueen and Mater. Yeah, he's taller than Mater. He's not as heavy as Mater. He looks to be a little bit longer than Mater. Or maybe not. Oh, he's kind of resting on his toe hook there. What about this? Oh, Mater does have him by a little bit. So yeah, if you're not making this Mater with the new suspension of Deluxe, you really can't make Doug one. But still, like I said before, I would not have put it past them. And yeah, I'm really happy that they ended up doing Sexy Doug Zombie Crankel here. Just wish they got the color right, which really should have been the easiest thing to do. I mean, maybe you kind of screw up the color of the brains. Like maybe the veins are green instead of purple. Would have sucked, but would have been better. I don't know, maybe they give him the wrong eye color, which they very well could have done. No one really cares, but when you mess up on something as grand as the main color, it's like nails against a chalkboard. Mattel, what the? Bye now!